Christmas, crowds, no crowds, and news from Disneyland. Join us as we take a complete tour around the park, every land and every attraction. It's Tier 5 day, and we are really curious to see how this plays out. This is our State of Disneyland report. This is Fresh Baked. And that, you guys, is the Christmas tree and Christmas here on Main Street Disneyland on this Monday morning. That is also what appears to be a full house today at the Disneyland Resort. We're here at the Main Street station of the Disneyland Railroad, opening our show today, our State of Disneyland report, which by all accounts, by all observations that I've made so far, this is going to be a doozy today. We're in for one. It's going to be a test of our theories regarding price versus crowds, which we're going to talk about that in a little bit. But man, I'm really looking forward to seeing how this day pans out, because that is a heck of a scene out there right now. Let's go take a vibe check down Main Street.
Through the Grand Canyons and primeval world. Stops at Frontierland.
Just wanted to take that in before we made our way down to Main Street for our vibe check, because that is poetry. Amazing. By the way, did you guys get a look at that tree in the opening? It's here. Right on time, by the way. This is not early for the Christmas tree. It usually is. It usually does arrive a few days ahead of the first proper day of the holiday season. In fact, if anything, it might be a little late. The DCA tree was up 4 days ago. And this already looks a lot clearer than we saw. We shot that B-roll for the intro maybe an hour ago, a little less than an hour ago. Things have certainly smoothed out. That could have been perhaps park hoppers. Because as we make our way down Main Street now, it is 12:51. Feels pleasant though, doesn't it? Can't wait. Next time we shoot this, it'll be Christmas music. Yes, it is. You guys, that wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad at all. I thought we were going to show you something right there, but that's almost a typical Main Street. There might be something to this. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into that. Price versus crowds, but just put that in your memory banks for now. We are code paint today, which means expensive, which means $196 per person for one park. Now, let's take a look at the reservation calendar. Let's get back to the Disneyland Railroad Station. And we might have to hurry at that. The Disneyland band is on its way down Main Street right now, getting ready to do a show here at the station. So let's get started. The first thing we'll mention, as I mentioned at the top of the show, is the price. Today is a Tier 5 day, one below the top tier. $196 is the price today. That's a pink tier. So the expectation, according to our theory, is that the park should be less busy than you would normally expect it on this day. We're going to put that to the test today. It's not going to be the main part of our story today. It's not going to be the main, we're going to be covering everything here at Disneyland, but it is something that we'll be referencing, getting into from time to time as we make our way through the park. But Tier 5 today. As for availability, for the past 6, 8, 9 months or whatever, same story. Completely wide open, no sold out dates for single day tickets for either November. You can walk right up today and buy a ticket, either November or December. And, well, here they come. Inspire Key. That's where we're going next. We're going to check out reservation calendar for Inspire Key, which doesn't look great at today or this week, really. There's just a little bit of Thursday left, and Saturday is surprisingly open. That's because it's blocked out for the lower tier keys. But today, tomorrow, Wednesday, and Friday are all sold out, which isn't surprising, but I mean, that's the way it's been in past Novembers around this time for Magic Keys, especially Inspire Key. But the rest of the month doesn't look too bad. You've got one sold out date on Sunday and another one on the following Friday. Again, that's because the lower tier keys are eligible still, which we'll look at in a second. But then all of the last week of November is open. Meanwhile, December, things do get a little more dicey. The weekends are difficult still. Weekdays are looking good, which is a bit of a surprise. The fact that the weekdays are looking good in December is a bit of a surprise, considering if we go to the Enchant Key, they're still eligible in December, Monday through Friday, for those first 2 weeks. The last 2 weeks, all keys are blocked. In the last 2 weeks of December. Oh no, I take that back. It's just I think it's just the last week of the holidays. Yeah, so we get, the Inspire Key gets the 16th, the week of this, of the 15th through the 21st, or the 20th. Whereas Enchant, sorry, this is difficult, do not. Right, they are blocked out, but those first 2 weeks of December are open, and those weekdays are still eligible. I guess what I'm saying is I would have expected that to be a little bit more sold out today. But this particular calendar looks pretty typical of what you might find for November, December for Magic Keys. As a matter of fact, let's look back to a year ago, our State of Disneyland report from last November, and we can see that Inspire Key calendar looks almost identical to the one that we just saw for November, and even more so for the calendar for December. It's almost identical to what we saw, or what we're seeing this year. Even more interesting though is take a look at the single day ticket calendar, where there's actually a sold out day. We shot this on the 16th of last November. It was sold out, you couldn't get in, and the 17th, the next day, was DCA start only. So that tells you two things. One, as far as Magic Key goes, they are executing a plan. There's this not some random situation. The calendar looks the way it does by design. They are executing a plan. They have not deviated from that plan for at least a year, or probably more. I used to believe that Disney was kind of unsure. You know, they're opening things up, closing. I don't know what we're doing. They're executing a very consistent plan for Magic Keys, and have been for at least a year. Meanwhile, that single day ticket calendar is also evidence of a plan, and that plan is to make them always available. Always available. That's changed. That's actually a change from before. They were showing sold out dates last year, not this year. Now that actually could be an indication of a decrease in demand, or it could just be Disney flexing the availability for increasing the amount of available tickets for single day ticket holders. That's a lot. Let's get back to the park. So now I think I'm a little less certain, a little more curious about what we're gonna find when we arrive to our first stops there in Adventureland. What we're gonna find in the parks. I'm really curious and a little uncertain. I thought I had it locked down, but you know, considering the calendar that we saw looks just like it did last year, and how the Main Street crowds have already started to ebb down a little bit. What are we in for today? We got to get moving though, because I keep forgetting. It's going to get dark here pretty soon. This show needs to get started. Let's get into Adventureland. And by the way, these observations that we're making right now with regard to the crowds and what we're going to find here at certain, you know, common points throughout the park is just, that's just part of the story that we're working on today. This is a State of Disneyland report, but we're also going to be taking this footage as a reference point for a trip through the parks on Wednesday. Today is Tier 5, $196. Tuesday and Wednesday will be Tier 0, $106. Or is it 104? I can never remember. One of those two. So we're going to be here on Wednesday. I couldn't make it on Tuesday, but we're going to be here on Wednesday to compare and see just how drastic the difference is. In spite of the fact that today's Veterans Day, I do think we're going to find a drastic difference in crowd density and wait times. But for today's purposes, on this Veterans Day. Let's get into Adventureland. Find our first subject. That, of course, will be the Jungle Cruise, which actually looks quite inviting right now. The left side is pretty packed, kind of full-ish actually. It's not even completely full. Doesn't look particularly dense, hardly, or there's nobody in the top right tier up there. The posted wait time says 30 minutes, which this is kind of a part where I have to vacillate a little bit on what my expectations were. On the one hand, my expectation should have been, if it's you know, tier pink, tier 5, that we should find less crowds than we normally would find on, let's say, a tier 0 day. But having seen what we saw earlier today, I was prepared, I was ready for to be wrong. I was ready to be wrong. But so far, we are on track. This is a holiday. This is the middle of November, so it's supposed to be super duper packed. It's busy, but it's not busy. Or is it? I turn the camera around and there's just a sea of people. I'm gonna have to frogger my way across to check in on Indiana Jones Adventure, which was posted at, well, it was 55 just a second ago, but now I just see the board has been ticked up 5 minutes to 60. And okay, so Frogger indeed. I gotta find a lily pad, hold on. Okay, there's a log, we got that, okay. Wow, okay, that's the back of Lightning Lane right here, not a good sign. Whew. Mercy, mercy. Lightning Lane is cashing in at the moment. There's a time, it's 1:01 right now. We'll just go ahead and do our usual check on things here in the back, but man, that was intense right there. That was a so I'm gonna be going back and forth, I bet. Back and forth, trying to figure out what kind of day this is, because it's both. It sure does feel like it's both. But that is definitely a full-on 60-minute queue, no doubt about it. Dense in the back, lots of Lightning Lane guests out there. Folks in standby have, you know, they got some time to wait out here. This is going to be slow in this section right here specifically. It'll be the same in there. Once you get into the temple, you know, you'll move pretty briskly. But out here, this exterior section here, that's going to be a bit of a slog. I feel sorry for these guests in standby right now, although it does look like they're kind of moving a little. But no, I would not want to be in this queue right now. That's just 2 so far observations. We got a long way to go. We got a long way to go. And Indiana Jones is always sort of its own animal, right? It's separate from everything else. When in a lot of conversations, queue size like that, Lightning Lane, how to use it, there's a lot of different ways that you can, that's separate, I should say, than the rest of the conversation. So we'll withhold judgment. One thing I want to show you guys real quick though, before we leave this scene, got some kind of scrim up here at the old Fast Pass kiosk back there. This is where you know, guests park their strollers sometimes, or they do the ADA access here, which is actually over there now. But normally you could walk in there. I wonder if they're up to something in there. I didn't notice that on our last tour of the park for our construction update, which that might be something I have to pay attention to. I don't know if that's a big thing or a small thing, if it's show or not, I don't know. But we're gonna try to make our way next to New Orleans Square and Pirates. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm not gonna lie, this is pretty intense right here. I was, you know, if I were trying to, hey, how are you? If I were trying to show you that I'm right with respect to price versus crowds, this is not the scene that I would like to be seeing for a Code Pink Tier 5 day. This is not what I would have expected. Even with so far sort of the standard or less than standard wait times that we've seen so far. For example, that is the Pirates queue. Posted wait time says 30 minutes. I have been through here on many occasions and seen considerably fewer guests in the queue for a 30-minute queue. This is, I don't know how Disney's calling this 30 minutes based on their standards. Wow. Is Fantastic about to go off or something? My goodness. I am having difficulty just walking this path. Okay. This is something. Where is the back of this queue? It's got to be all the way to Tianas, right? Still going. There's a full, oh no, it's more than a, guys, this is cute. This stuff outside of the actual ropes is cute. Oh my heavens. There are 3 switchbacks. I'm coming up to the back of the queue. We need one of those signs out here. That's the back of the queue right there. That is nuts. How are they calling this 30 minutes? I'm gonna try to carefully find my way. Yeah, so now, there it is right there. I am basically, well, I don't know if I am or not now. I can't tell if I'm in the queue or not. I don't know who is and who isn't. This is bad. When you see queue outside the normal constraints of what they've set up, right? They've got no extra, well, they can't put a rope out here, but you never want to see this. You don't want to see wild guests outside of the pen like they are now. That is incredible. And they're calling that 30 minutes. I'm going to escape now because I don't want anybody to think I'm in the queue, which I'm not. But heavens to Betsy, that is something. You know what's funny? I was gonna call it. I was gonna call it while I was walking down that space right there on my way back to the front. I was gonna say, watch them change the board out here before we even get that back to the entrance. But I thought, no, it's only been a minute. It's 45 now. They changed it less than 2 minutes later after I posted that look at there when it was 30 minutes. That hasn't even been 2 minutes. Wow. I would like to see what this looks like from the Mark Twain right now. Wow. Okay. I mean, it takes me back, you guys. It takes me back to those days when it was really tough to get through the park on a busy day. Man, very reminiscent. You know, I've said on more than one occasion that people talk about how busy the park is. Like, oh, it's too busy at Disneyland these days. I've said often, man, you don't know. Have you forgotten? Did we memory hole what it was like coming to Disneyland during the holidays pre-COVID? Did we forget collectively? Because it's, you know, I'm noticing, I'm observing, I'm experiencing the density of the crowds right now because it's so rare, because it doesn't happen very often. It used to happen all the time back in the day, and especially during October and November and December, and we get even more busy every day, every week that the holiday season progressed. So that's why I'm a little bit shook, I guess, about, you know, I'm trying to find some consistency, some rationale. There's that switchback right there. It looks like the queue is actually shortened just a bit because that outside queue had gone all the way back here. But it is presently 1:18. Good time of day to check in on Tiana's Palace. Maybe say hi to Shelly, who seems to be working here all the time. They need to give my girl a day off. Let's see. I'm expecting crowds. I should be finding crowds here. But this is not bad at all, especially for 1:18 in the afternoon. They've got both sides working. Oh, there's Shelly. Of course, she's working again. This is not that bad at all. I've said it before, I've said it 100 times, and I'll say it again right now. Don't bother with lightning or mobile order for Tiana's Palace. Don't bother, especially if they've got both sides open. You're going to get your food here in just a matter of minutes. You don't need mobile order. You can just walk right in. By the way, they are bringing in a new menu. Starting November 15th, first day of the holiday season, they're going to be serving a catfish po' boy and jambalaya. They haven't had jambalaya here in a while, I think. They've got gumbo, but not jambalaya. I get them confused all the time. And they've also are bringing in, just for 3 days, a beignet to the station where presently they're serving just the classic one. They serve the house-filled beignet with lemon and the strawberry. For 3 days, they're going to bring in the beignet from the film, Princess and the Frog, the one that's covered in honey. What is it? Honey and powdered sugar. 3 days, starting November 15th. Don't know how permanent that situation is going to be. We're going to try to find out, but right now I believe it's just seasonal. As far as the catfish and the jambalaya, I know that the beignet is 3 days only. But what the rest of the menu is, it's open-ended right now. There is no close date, and I just asked Shelly. She doesn't know when it is either. I love you, Shelly. And then leaving Tianas, I've realized the Mark Twain has been parked and empty since we arrived in New Orleans Square over there by Pirates. So I think that's closed for the day, or for some reason. And obviously the Columbia, they're still closing that one on weekdays, which today is a Monday. Oh, and there's Haunted Mansion. We walked by here a minute ago and it was closed, but it looks like they have reopened. And I know I've been saying this for a couple of weeks now, at least 2 construction reports anyway, but I keep hearing from various sources that the walls are nearly ready to come down out here, not in the rear queue. They're still working on the rear queue. Hi. But the walls are near ready to come down around Tianas and the courtyard there. Possibly, if we're lucky, fingers crossed, as soon as this weekend. I'm fairly confident about that because it's consistent with what I've been told by some of these sources about other things that have actually come to fruition. So fingers crossed, man. I'm really anxious to see how that scene looks at the courtyard. One of the signs that I've been watching for and looking for in our construction updates is what's happening with the bandstand out here in Tianas. I've been waiting for them to finish that. And it's been, last week it was bare wood. I have a feeling by the time we do the next construction report, I won't have an opportunity to report on this the way I am now. In this update for what, Wednesday probably, but they're finished. You could see, hopefully I have some other footage here, you could see that where there was bare wood and no lights before, there's lights and finished wood, so that looks to be done. That looks to be done, which means that they can take these walls down. Oh, look at that, there's some more lamps up there too. Lamps all over the place. Wow, how did I miss these in my last report, or did I? I don't know. Did they just put those up? Because that's the first time my eyes have seen these. They are very close, you guys. Very, very close. Which gives me cause to remember that one of the predictions that I made a very long time ago with respect to Magic Keys, people kept asking me, Dave, when do you think they're going to start selling Magic Keys again? And I said, it'll probably coincide with the reopening of Tianas Bayou Adventure. Hi guys, Tianas Bayou Adventure, and with the reopening, the successful sort of standby launch of the Haunted Mansion, that they're going to want to have this side of the park completely operational, queue and all, for Haunted Mansion. That was my prediction. Magic Keys went on sale, what, last week? So that's a good sign that is lining up, that their goal was to start selling Magic Keys when they have things happening here. So if keys are on sale, hi guys. If keys are on sale, then that could also mean that they are, in fact, near done. As a matter of fact, for those wondering how permanent the key sale situation will be, do you think they'll sell out quickly? In the past, they did. They sold out very fast. But the last time they didn't. And one of the signs that you knew that was going to be the case, one of the signs that you could see to observe that they were going to sell them for a while, was that they had a sign out in front asking guests to upgrade their single-day tickets to Magic Keys. That sign is back out front again, both here and at DCA. So I have a pretty good feeling that Magic Key sales are going to be available for at least a little while. Long enough. Oh, looks like they're not doing it. It looks very quiet here. We've reached Tianas Bayou Adventure. Looks really quiet. I haven't seen this scene this quiet since they've reopened it. But I think it's a really good sign. The keys are going to be available for a little while. So go ahead and make your plans. But know that Enchant and Imagine are the 2 keys that sell out the quickest. The key that lasts the longest is an Inspire key. They want you to join me as an Inspire key holder here at the Disneyland Resort. Show is quickly devolving, I don't know if that's the right word or not, from a State of Disney report to a construction update, because look here also, we've got, hey guys, the construction walls here are down. They're gone. These walls extended from those rocks to the edge of these trees right here. They were blocking off this path, which I have been wondering, and I think I hopefully have already produced a video, our Tianas Bayou Adventure video, where I talk about this path and why is it even still here, because I was wondering why they hadn't destroyed this path. Why did they restore it, refurb it, keep it? For what reason? Because you can't, this path no longer goes to the rest of the queue for Tianas. There's a dead end, there's a big berm there, and guests cannot keep going down that path like they used to. But it's here, and now the walls are down and we can see that it's here, and I'm curious why this is. I have half a mind to think that it's because they want to, it's just a viewing area, kind of like a secret path type situation where guests can come out here and watch the boats go by. But one thing that is making me think that may not be the case is that there's a gate. There's a gate right here that says cast only. Now it could be that they'll open that gate up and just let guests go in there, or it could just be for cast. But for what purpose, I don't know, because again, there's nothing to do down there. Even if it's for a cast member, all you can do is look. There's nothing happening there otherwise. But I'm very happy to see that this path is still here, even just the fact that it exists. The fact that it exists is good enough for me. It would be even better if I could walk down that path and watch those boats go by, but I'm happy knowing that it's still here at least. The same way that I'm happy that the secret path exists or that the Dapper Dans play on Main Street. It's all just part of the magic. Man, I can't. Hey guys! It never fails. As soon as I start rolling, I get a fresh bake before I can even start speaking. I love it. Yeah, I just, you guys, there's my happiness and my exuberance and my excitement for the future of Disneyland is just getting better and better every single day. We get closer and closer to just experiencing Disneyland the way we should, the way it's intended, and I couldn't be more happy. And I'm hoping that you know, everybody gets into the spirit of things here, and we have a fantastic Christmas season, because I am really looking forward to it. There's a good chance that this is going to be the most emotional and happy Christmas that I've had at Disneyland in a very long time. I've had a lot of good ones, don't get me wrong. I've had a lot of good ones. I'm not saying that they've all sucked, but this one I feel like I'm really going to feel this year. I can't wait. As for the business at hand, calm happenings here at Winnie the Pooh, or the many adventures of Winnie the Pooh. It's very slight crowd. There's you know, it's peaking out a little bit there. I didn't see what the posted wait time, but that's a 15-minute queue right there, if that. But that is hampered by the fact that there's nothing happening at Tianas right now. There's no action here at Tianas. No cast or Magic Key previews. Those are just about up. In just a couple days, it's going to be open to the full public. Guests are going to be storming the gates here. By the time I do our next construction report, in just a few days, guests will be passing through this threshold, this trellis, this unfinished, by the way, this unfinished trellis. Disney, what's going on? I need more vines. I need more vines to finish this scene. This will be full of guests. Wow. While we're here, let's go check in on Hungry Bear. I want to see how standby's doing. It is 2:03 in the afternoon, which is not a typically busy point to be getting food. It's usually a little after the rush. So I would expect a lighter crowd here, but we're seeing a very deep queue for 2 o'clock. That's a good 30-40 guests. That's Cocina sized. I'm laughing at myself because somehow Cocina Cucamonga has become the benchmark for a large standby queue for quick service. Like that's the one that always has the, how is that so long? How is the queue at Cocina always so long? That's pretty standard. That queue right there looks long for Hungry Bear. It is long for Hungry Bear, but that's typical, standard for Cocina. But you could probably just pick up your mobile order. Let's see how the dining situation is here. Hey, hi guys. There's hardly ever any tables. There's a couple tables right there. Another one on the rail right there. Oh, look at that. You've got a great spot. These are pretty hard to come by. I'm just going to go ahead and look over here. These spots right here are hard to come by when you come to the Hungry Bear. Do you guys remember, though, that it used to be that there was seats down here, too? Well, I should say, I take that back. They weren't down there. They were down there, but this was water. You would look right over the rail here. There'd be water right here. And those seats down there were also on the water. You could feed ducks. It's not really the same anymore. There's a little bit of distance now between us and the water, but still, it's a glorious, wonderful view. Look at that. While we're walking to the rear to looking for tables, there goes the Lily Bell and the rest of the Disneyland Railroad. You can now see it super clear. They've cleared out all that shrubbery. But yeah, there's a few tables back here. It's still pretty busy though. And I just feel like you haven't been to Disneyland. You really haven't. If you haven't had a meal at the Hungry Bear, just do it. Just do it. It's one of the coolest, most Disneyland experiences you'll ever have. And now hopefully by this point I have gotten you guys excited enough thinking about coming to Disneyland. And if you are starting to make a plan in your head about coming to the Disneyland Resort, or even just going to Walt Disney World, Alani, a cruise, Universal, please do consider using our travel affiliate GetAwayToday. They are friends of the show, and we are big supporters of theirs as they are of us. GetAwayToday is one of the premier travel agencies focused entirely on, well, almost entirely on Disney parks, and they are a very knowledgeable group of people, very friendly, and they're ready to help. They've helped us plan so many things, just us directly, that we've seen them operate and we've seen them in action, and they are quite good. And I hope you guys have the opportunity to use them. There's a link in our description. It's an affiliate link, obviously. So when you support GetAwayToday, you're also supporting our channel. So please do consider using those to make your plans. And I hope that you do. And when you do, I hope you guys have a great trip to the Disneyland Resort. Let's now go to Galaxy's Edge. And when you do come to Disneyland, and when you do have your meal here at Hungry Bear, I do recommend, I love to sit in the back, all the way back here. Usually there's empty tables, and you get to have the view of the lovely bear there trying to get at that beehive for some honey. As we pass through the transition from Bayou Country to Galaxy's Edge, I am reminded of the fact that right now we are in a mode of thinking this is a busy day, and that scene that I'm seeing right there would support that. We're not all the way out here in Section 4, but they're getting close. Actually, they are in Section 4. Those guests, they've just opened this up, so those guests are starting to fill in Section 4, which is never a good sign for standby at Rise. You want to try to avoid that if you can. There will be better opportunities later to catch a shorter queue, even on a busy day. But yeah, they're using about a quarter of Section 4 there, which makes Sections 3, 2, and 1 obviously quite full. So right now, if I'm evaluating what I've seen so far, I'm going to call that 60 minutes, probably. They might even have it as high as 70, depending on how much action Lightning Lane is getting at the moment. Now, whether or not it's 60 or 70 is another story, but I'm just talking about what Disney would have it at. And there you go. It's exactly 60 minutes right here. Now, one thing that I will observe here with respect to our study that we're doing about whether or not today, a holiday, is going to be busier than Wednesday, a standard day, but a day that's priced about half of what the tickets cost today. I will observe that although that's a long queue for Rise, 60 minutes posted, that's kind of standard. That's kind of normal. It's not excessive. It's not an OMG type of situation. It's pretty, it is what it is. So what we're looking for, let's say on Wednesday, in order to support that theory that Wednesday will be a busier day, is if on Wednesday at this time we see something like 90 minutes and a queue all the way out there into Section 4 at the same time. That said, I feel like I have been talking a lot for the past hour and a half. I've been going. We've been shooting this for just over, just about an hour and a half. We've been shooting this show, so let's go to Ronto Roaster. I'm pulling up the app right now. I'm gonna mobile order a Tatooine Sunset as we speak. It's happening right now. Let's go. Can we get there? New order. Sorry, I don't have play-by-play on going up on the screen right now, but there we go. I'm here, prepare my order, let's go. And let's look. Less than a minute later, let's go look at that tip board. Oh, that is so good. And let's get into it. Alice in Wonderland at 35, pretty standard. Astro 20, standard. Light even, considering the crowds we've seen. Same for Autopia. Return time of now-ish, that's kind of light. Big Thunder 50, okay, so that's a little bit more normal, like you might see on a busy day. With a return time in just over an hour. Buzz Lightyear, 25 minutes. I mean, that's I would get in that queue probably if it looked like 25. Return time of now. Casey Jr. 30, that's long. Gadgets, long, 45 minutes. Dumbo 30, long-ish. Fighting 15. Wow, this is just so difficult to. It's the going theme. It is and it isn't. What? Make up your mind, Disney. Okay, come on. Indiana Jones Adventure is now posted at 40 minutes with a return time of just 4 hours. I say just because often when we do these, we'll find those to be 7 or 8 hours into the future. Indy is just 4 hours and a return time of 40 minutes. Did it break down? I don't know. Jungle Cruise at a modest 30. King Arthur 10. Mad Tea Party standard 20. Pooh 25. Probably not. I don't understand seeing 40 minutes there for Matterhorn. This isn't jiving with what we've been walking through the park. We've been seeing all manner of crowds everywhere, and you've got Matterhorn at 40 minutes and a return time of 1:45. Why am I looking at the camera right now while I do this? I'm just shocked. Runaway Railway, 35 minutes. Return time in 2 hours. Sorry. Let's see, Smuggler's Run is an hour, but a return time of now. We'll put that to the test because I don't think that's true. Although it could be a situation like we've seen in the past, and we'll never know for sure, that they could be down, a turntable or two for, so they could be down a few ride vehicles. Mr. Toad's 25, Peter Pan standard 40, Pinocchio standard 15, Pirates is closed, Roger Rabbit, 45 is nominal. Not bad for a Veterans Day. I mean, that's pretty common, pretty standard. Return time of just over an hour. Snow White 20 minutes. Space Mountain 50 minutes. Standard. Return time in 3 hours. Star Tours at 30 with a return time of now. And Rise. Okay, so Rise went up to 75. We saw it at 60 when we went by earlier. They have bumped it to 75, because we saw Section 4. And I said it was growing. They had just opened that up, so the queue was growing. So that's probably a reaction to that. As a matter of fact, some guests asked me out front if this was a go or no go, and I said, it's probably not. No. I think I said it is. It's accurate. The 60 minutes was accurate, and they said, we'll go finish our Tatooine Sunset and come back later. I feel like this queue, it's now reached the point at 75 minutes. This is when you want to start clocking. You want to start clocking the tip board and see if it stays at 75 minutes for a while. And after maybe 20 or 30 minutes, that's when you get in that queue. 30 minutes from now, look at the tip board. And if at 3 o'clock it still says 75, go get in that queue. Strawberry Land 15, and take care.
And I hope that makes sense. What I'm saying there, by saying wait 30 minutes, they adjust the wait time to 75 minutes because the queue is 75 minutes. But that 75 minutes is also a call to action to stay away. So you don't get the benefit of that call to action until people have time to have stayed away, right? So if you get in the queue now, it's not going to be 75, but eventually, but right now it still will be. You have to wait for time for people to not get in the queue. You have to wait for that 75-minute posted wait time to do its work, to announce to everybody to not come. And at the back of the queue will get shorter and shorter and shorter as they keep processing guests. And then after about 30 minutes, after it's done that work, after it's cooked for a little bit, the back of the queue will no longer be in section 4, the back of the queue will be in section 2, even though it's still posted at 75 minutes. Then you get in the queue. That's what I'm saying. As we have arrived at the Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run, posted wait time does in fact say 60. We'll just take a quick peek. There are some Lightning Lane guests coming in. A lot of them actually. This is one of those attractions that I've observed in the past where a high proportion of guests that get into the queue are Lightning Lane. I've seen it where I've watched this queue for 5 or 10 minutes straight, and almost every guest that came in was coming in through Lightning Lane. Nobody was coming in through standby. And that is the case now as I check behind me. The queue is still empty, and the only guests that are in the queue right now are Lightning Lane. This is a bad situation, and that's also not good. Seeing guests come out, which tells me it's possible that they saw something that they didn't like. It is quiet in here. Okay, I like what I see there. That's empty. There's nobody up there. We found the back of the queue. It's just on the other side of whatever this speeder type thing is at that window. So that's not bad actually as standby queues go. We've seen, obviously all this filled up. Another good sign here is that this queue is empty. The Lightning Lane queue is completely empty. We saw guests coming in, but they have processed them all already, and it is completely empty. And now we've got, there's the back of the standby queue. They're moving. So this is no big deal, really. Dare I say a go situation? That 60-minute standby has done its work. It's doing what I was just talking about, Rise of the Resistance, the effect of that 75-minute queue. 60 minutes has kept people from coming into this standby queue. And now you've got a pretty decent move. And there's no Lightning Lane right now. There is no Lightning Lane, so that queue is going to move. By the way, nominal scene also that we're seeing out here in the common area, although that is not uncommon, even on busy days. We see this often at Galaxy's Edge, where the crowds here in Galaxy's Edge do not match the crowds that you find in the rest of the park. And we'll probably see evidence of that just as soon as we cross over to Fantasyland. And as we head in that direction, let me take this opportunity to just a random casual observation, something I've been wondering about. Where's the news for the 70th? We've got we talked about this in the construction report. We've got Paint the Night. That's sort of been revealed. And based on, if you watched our last construction report, you'll note that they've moved Magic Happens the parade out, which means they're making room to bring something else in. No reason to incur the expense of moving a parade out. They normally keep those parades in the house all year. So they have room for that backstage. But if they're moving that out, that means they're moving something else in. That something else is obviously going to be Kylo and a couple stormtroopers, or it would be Paint the Night. Paint the Night's coming to Disneyland for the 70th, and most likely January, February is my guess, if they're doing that now, if they're getting ready to do that now. But that's it, that's all we know. We know literally nothing about what kind of plans they have for the 70th. Well, again, except for the reveal that they did at D23, the new Walt animatronic at Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, which is actually going to be 2 separate shows. They're going to rotate. One show will be Walt, the next show will be Lincoln. Actually, when they first opened the Walt show, it'll be just Walt, I'm sure, for a month or so, a month or two, maybe a while, maybe 6 months. You guys remember when they would do these temporary shows out there, and that the Disney Gallery area, the TV, they had the TV loop that was supposed to be temporary. That was there for a decade or something like that. I don't know, but I worry in that sense. I sure hope that they don't just make it Walt permanently. But I digress. The idea is that it'll be Walt for a little while, maybe for the 70th, and then it'll go Walt Lincoln. That's it. That's all we know. Those are literally the 2 things we know about the 70th. We know nothing else. They have made no such announcements. I thought they might do something for D23 Brazil. I thought they might announce something there, that they would hold something back. Is there another show? Is there an IAPA coming up between now and January?
We got 2 months left until it's 2025. How come we haven't heard anything? And it's not that I don't expect that they will do something. They are going to do something. They got to, but well, unless they're not. For example, one thing that I'm pretty sure we're not getting for the 70th is a new fireworks show. There will be fireworks, but old stuff. Dreams, mixed magic. You know what I mean? Maybe they do Wonder, I don't know. But we're not getting a 70th, I know that. So what else are we not getting, maybe? I don't know, guys. We're just a couple months away from 2025. And I assume that the 70th is a year-round celebration. That would be safe to assume, right? Not just starting in the summer when the park opened. Which brings us to Fantasyland, and where I had predicted that we'll probably find something a little bit more dense here, crowd-wise, than we found at Galaxy's Edge. Hey guys, how are you? Which so far seems to be the case, more or less. I haven't had to, oop, there it is. Okay, I just had the juke. I was just gonna say, I haven't had to do any sort of lateral sliding, trying to get out of people's ways, but I did just there. But this still isn't bad. This is moderate. Maybe 60, 70% crazy. If 100% crazy is get me out of here, if that's 100, this is 60 or 70. I am by no means saying get me out of here right now. Not even close. And it is 2:48, by the way, as we start our trek around the carousel and check in on these dark rides. That's a pretty hefty queue for Pinocchio. It's not too bad. Probably 25 minutes. But this ain't bad. This is not bad. It certainly isn't comparable to the crowds we saw at the beginning of this show and when we first arrived in the park at noon, or actually it was 11 a.m. Snow White, that's nothing. That's 25 also, but it's not even that. That's totally agreeable to me right there. Oh my gosh, you guys look, Peter Pan. Okay, look, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, I would not have even guessed. Look, this section over here by Merlin's Magnificent Mercenary, that one gift shop right over there. This part is completely empty. The outer stanchion is empty, that switchback is empty, as are 1, 2, 3, 4 of those switchbacks, all empty. Absolutely does not reconcile with what we've been seeing, or what we saw earlier. I think that might have been a blip. What we saw earlier at 11, noon, maybe 1 o'clock was a blip, and this is getting a little bit closer to reality, I think. It is just, you know, not even 3 o'clock. It looks late because it's getting dark early now, but look at that queue. Look at Toads. They're just breezing through that Toads queue right there. That's 15 minutes. It's posted at 25, but that's 15, if that. Wow. I just, okay, so there's a, oh my gosh, that's a bit of a scene right now. I can't see, I think it says 30 for Dumbo. 40. No, 30. It does say 30. Okay. Let's go check the back. There's a lot of stroller action here today, more so than we might normally find. That's what's making this clog up right here. A lot of strollers. Normally you don't see that many, so people have fewer places. It pinches the groups. Obviously, you know, you get very narrow here because of that. So it looks worse than it is. By the way, I would note that it is more likely to not see strollers. I mean, this is a place to park strollers, but it is more likely to not see as many as we're seeing right there. That's more than I typically see out here in front of Dumbo. And we have found the back of the queue for Dumbo, which isn't bad. A bunch of empty ones. It looks bad because it's out here in the second half, but they're only using one of the switchbacks. It's not very dense, it's very loose, it's not compacted, and that's something that you want to look for. You want to see how narrow, how dense the queues are. This is very loose. People are giving their space, they're not using up all the space. It's very relaxed. As the crowds get fuller, as the queues get longer, as the time that you spend in the queue increases, the crowd tends to, compact a little bit. They get narrow and narrower. Everybody's trying to use all available space, right? So it gets narrow and narrower as the line gets longer and longer. So it's not even as long as we're seeing. It's less than that even, is what I'm saying. And as we make our way to Mad Tea Party, I hear the sounds of a high school band going through Fantasyland right now, but Mad Tea Party looks quite agreeable to me. There are guests in the queue, and they're about ready to launch. It's one rotation. Every guest that you see in this queue right here is gonna get on the next batch of teacups. Meanwhile, Alice in Wonderland, that looks pretty busy, actually. It could be worse still. I've seen worse, but this is pretty busy. That's a 35-minute queue right there for Alice. I'm gonna guess that's what they've got posted right here. Not even 35, 30. Although, I mean, it probably, they could very easily be either one. They could both be right. Oh, there comes Casey. I've seen that 1,000 times, still makes me happy. Well, we're here to look at standby for Storybook Land, and that's pretty agreeable. It hasn't left the perimeter there. It's a little full-ish. They're probably running a full complement of boats, so that's probably gonna be 20-25 minutes is my guess. Get out here into the main walkway where we're gonna see hopefully some Christmas decorations. We're less than a week away, but there's nothing up here yet. Interesting. We've got a tree out on Main Street. All the garland and everything is pretty much done on Main Street. They're like 75% there, but no Christmas decorations back here. Interesting. They should be all over these light fixtures. I'll show you what I mean. These decorations, there should be a lot more of that. This is the only place you're finding any right now, are on these light poles, and then you can see some on the other side of the wall over there. And obviously the clock has got his hat. Time for Christmas. And let me just tell you, I am dying, absolutely dying to ride Small World again. It's been down for a solid month. Has it been at least that? It's been at least a month more. And when it opens, it's gonna be Christmas. It's gonna be the holiday overlay. Are you kidding me? One of the single greatest moments of your entire holiday season, of your entire holiday visit to the Disneyland Resort. One of the single greatest moments will be when you come to Small World at night and see those lights. That's the, oh my God, it's so great. And every year it works. Every year it's just, so good. I am dying for that to happen. I cannot wait for that to be a reality, and it's going to be in in 2 days. By the time you guys see this video, we'll be just 2 days away. 2 days away from me recording it, and 3 days away from you seeing it. And that holiday season will include a holiday party down here, where you can meet Santa Claus at the Fantasyland Theater. Looking forward to that as well. It's going to be something along the scale of Pixar Fest, as I understand it. And I expect there'll be some seasonal foods here available at Troubadour. Right now, it's the usual stuff. The, what is that? Mac and cheese bites, roundup barbecue potatoes. It's the stuff from Pixar Fest, which, by the way, was really good. So I got no complaints. Keep that here if you want. That was fine. No need, well, I mean, give me the baked potato though. I do want that baked potato. It's so nice also to come up here and see guests boarding the train at the Toontown train depot. Just having this train back has meant everything to this park, in my opinion. 2 weeks ago, we were commenting on that fact. Try to wrap your head around the idea that what you're in here at Disneyland
is just the giant life-size train set. And when you think about it in those terms, it makes total and complete and perfect sense in terms of what you're experiencing and why there's different lands. Like when you build a train set, right, you're gonna have, you know, different parts. There's gonna be a winter village and a summer thing or whatever. I mean, that's the whole point, is you build little towns and then the train goes around it, right? And it goes around the perimeter of the table of the train set, and you got little people up there, you got, you know, attractions and whatever. I mean, it's pretty amazing when you think about it, that what he did. What Walt did was just, it took so much guts. Thank goodness for that, man. Thank goodness for that. He didn't wait for anybody to tell him whether or not people wanted to do it. He just did, because he wanted it. That's the secret. That's the secret. And it's something that I recall, I remember. I say to myself, whenever I'm thinking about what kind of video to make, or, you know, if I should do this kind of video or that kind of video, you know, sometimes people say, you should ask your, you know, ask your fans what they want to see. I'm like, you know, I appreciate that, and I get it, and I do want to make content that you guys want to see, but it won't be the same if I'm doing it because you want me to. It's not the same. I want to make what I want to make and hope that the audience finds me. Hey guys, I like those guys. And I want to hope that what I'm making is of value and of use and entertaining enough or whatever. But that's the way it needs to be. It has to be that way. It's very difficult to, you don't want to think of the commerce first, you got to think of the art first. Art first, then commerce. So that's what I try to do, and then I just do it. You know, that's like, well, Liz will say, you should tell them what your plans are. What are you going to do? I'm like, I don't want to tell them what my plans are. I just want to do it. I just want to make it. I want to make it and then see what happens. And we have found some action. Hey guys, how are you? We have found some action here in Toontown. The queue has left the building. It's posted 55 at the door. That's exactly what you would expect. It's about 45 minutes at the door, and you got maybe another 5 or 10 minutes out here beyond the door. That's a good sized queue right there, you guys. That is healthy. Ay, ay, ay. But that's still a pleasant queue. Even at 55 minutes, you're gonna have a good time in there. And it'll probably not be that. It goes quick. It's one of the most efficient ride systems ever created. So very efficient. Let's go to Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin next, and where we find Roger at 35 minutes posted, which is super light, considering, especially where Runaway Railway's at 55. It's a call to action to stay away, and I can confirm that this is not 35 minutes. This is nothing close to 35 minutes. We have reached the back of the queue before even crossing the threshold. I saw some guests turn around and walk out, and now I know why. No chance. No chance, that is, that's a 35-minute queue. And I'm just gonna wait here. I'm gonna see what happens, because that's an hour. That could be an hour right now, and especially if they have lightning lanes showing up, and especially for as long as Runaway Railway says 55 minutes. And I'm trying to do the thing that I thought I was going to do at Pirates, where it was going to happen right as I was saying it, but it's not. I'm just waiting. It still says 35 right now, but it'll be minutes before that thing shifts. Well, it took a little longer than I had hoped it would, but 2 minutes later, it's now at 60 minutes. So they were way off, which was painfully obvious if you just stuck your head inside the door a little bit. Well, before we head to the back of Toontown, let's just stop by real quick, because I noticed the crowd had dissipated. It's all gone here, and now we're at 45 minutes. In fact, they have done such a good job, as I mentioned, it's a very efficient queue. They've done just such a good job that I think, yeah, they cleared all this out as well. That's the back of the queue right here. They're coming around the corner. That's pretty amazing. Man, you guys, it is just 3:15, and we're like, the sun's coming down. It's 3:15. Wow. Toontown's still happening. Am I right? Pretty good crowd waiting for Minnie. Posted at 30 minutes. Right there through the threshold, looking like it's a fun time for a lot of guests. What?
What? I believe that calls for a walk through Mickey's house because I don't believe you. If it's truly 15, we should get all the way to the studio, to the film room, without any stoppage.
I mean, when's the last time we've seen a 15-minute wait? Okay, we found the back of the queue. There's no way. There's no way that's 15. If they're stopped here before we even get into the Gophers, we haven't even found the Gophers yet, and they're calling this 15. That's as far as I have to go. It took me a minute and a half to figure out that's not the case. Surprising that they would have that, they would call that 15 minutes, considering how visible, how apparent it is that it's not 15 minutes. It's 10 minutes or so just in the film room. Just the film room is 10 minutes usually. But it is drawing a crowd right now. There's, hey, how are you guys? How are you? A lot of folks were just coming in. It's just like any other attraction, man. 15 minutes at Mickey's house is a call to action. There's a lot of people here in Toontown and they're all trying to find something economical to do. You see that 15 minutes there, that's like, hey, that's the thing. That's the thing. So Gadgets is posted at 30. And it's all of that. That's the, oh my gosh. That's the back of the queue right here. Yeah, it's all of that 30. By the way, look who they have here at the duck pond. It's Donald himself. This has been reduced to a meet and greet space now because the water doesn't work. The water hasn't worked for a good month now. No, there's no upward whatever. It doesn't work. I don't know if they're gonna fix it or if this is gonna become what it is. It's kind of a shame because without that water, the old boat is definitely better than the new boat. Absolutely, it's better. You used to be able to go up that boat. You can run around and play and climb and take a look down and see below and everything. Absolutely did I prefer the old boat to this new boat. And that's irrespective of whether or not there's any water as an adult. You know what I mean? But for kids, it's definitely that ain't good. I want that old boat back. Can they do it? Can you bring it back? Disney, if you're not gonna put the water on down there? Ah, what a waste. Ah, Fantasyland. It really might be my favorite place, my favorite land, not counting Main Street. Hey guys, sorry. Main Street will always be #1 in my heart, but I used to think it was New Orleans Square. But nah, it's Fantasyland. All right, where are we going? We're going to Matterhorn next, right? To check in on things there. We saw a very much unbelievable situation on the tip board where it said 40 minutes. There she is. She's a beaut, Clark. And it is still just 45 minutes now.
Yeah, let's go.
Not a lot of lightning lane happening over there. There's that 45-minute posted. Queue is left of tree, but not left. Oh yeah, it's yeah, we are left. We are also tree lamp. If you follow us on our newsletter, you'll know what tree lamp is. So we're left and tree lamp and extended, but it looks like maybe just extended 1. Yeah, just extended 1. Right here. That's the first extension, right there. Extended 2. See where those chains crisscross right there. That's extended 2. And then extended 3 is this last section. And then if you want to get into extended 4, it's when they send it around the mountain. So if we're here at just extended 1, but including tree lamp and left, let me think. 5, 7, 12. Probably 5 there, 17. 7 more for ride of trees 7, 24. 24, 1, 2. Oh, we forgot one, 31. Plus 6 or 7 in the covered area. 38 minutes, my guess. Science! And I'm gonna teach anybody who cares to learn how to do that math that I just did right there, how to read that cue. I will teach anybody who cares to learn. Just follow us here on Fresh Baked, subscribe to our newsletter, and then look out for our upcoming digital downloads, which I'm still it takes a lot of time, especially considering I have to do those in the spare time that I have when I'm not making regular State of Disneyland construction reports and other park science videos, and writing newsletter articles and putting out content on Twitter. And ideating and planning and working on the future of Fresh Baked while also being a loving father and husband to my wife and kids. But I love it. I love it. Having the time of my life, Fresh Baked. Wouldn't trade this for anything. I haven't been hearing the sound of a monorail since I've been here in Tomorrowland. Are they out? Look at this. Guys, that is 3:39. Looks like it's just about sunset. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Got a Nemo sub. They were calling that 15 minutes when we looked at the tip board before, but I'm just, oh, there's one. He's coming around the corner right now. He just came into the track. The pilot, the driver is just about to say, not the driver, the voice is just about to say, and this is Tomorrowland. There he is. He's saying it right now. Wow, we got it. Look at that. That capture can only be improved by having one of those subs actually going under the waterfall. But that's getting two subs and the monorail going across the track there. I like it. Look at that. Whew. That is an empty queue for Finding Nemo. I mean, that just might be 15 minutes. My goodness, it's completely empty over here. And they're making a right turn just as soon as they come in. They're making a right turn right there. Hey guys. Wow. I can't believe it. I tell you what, man. After that sketchy start with all those folks on Main Street and Adventureland, and a little bit of New Orleans Square, after that start, things have really, really chilled in the parks. I mean, they were even starting to chill a little bit in Adventureland. But things have really chilled to the point where I'm starting to think that we may still be on track to that theory, man. It's Veterans Day, and it should be busy. It should be. Let's see, we got a posted wait time there of 15 minutes. Oh my God. I would have already said 15 minutes is a bargain for Autopia, but there's nothing happening. Oh, they are in the rotunda. That's the whole of it, right there. There's nobody up there in the risers. Anybody coming into standby right now is going directly into the rotunda, but all of these guests, those were just Lightning Lane that walked across there. There's nobody in the proper standby queue up there. They're all just in the circular film room there. That's practically nothing, you guys. I'm just gonna keep on going up here because A, I wanna take a look at these Autopia cars, but 2, I just wanna put eyes on the Disneyland Railroad queue back here to see how that's, you know, 10, 12 people there in that queue. Very wide open, that's agreeable. All those guests will get on the next train whenever that shows up.
Here you go, a little Autopia for you. Looks like folks are taking the call to action to jump on the Autopia attraction as well. That's a lot of incoming traffic. So the situation could change here in the next few minutes. We got 4 more attractions to go, I think, before we're done, right? So we got Space Mountain, Buzz, Star Tours, and Big Thunder. I have a feeling I might be jumping in one of those queues by the time this day is over. Hey, how are you? I'm just really curious to see how short these things really are. Probably not Space Mountain though. Posted at 60 minutes. I mean, if that's correct, then no. But will it be? I don't know. I often ask if you see a posted wait time at Space Mountain of 60 minutes, at this particular attraction specifically. If you see a wait time for 60 minutes, let's say, where do you think the back of the queue should be? What would be a go or a no-go for you if it's posted 60? Like for me, I'm thinking front third of the extended queue. I would consider that a go. Where are we in that time period where the posted wait time is a call to action to stay away? If 60 minutes is that. Certainly it's not for some people. They would just get right in this queue. But there are going to be certainly also a bunch of people who are going to say no to this. How far along are we into that process? This is a half an hour, like I was saying, for Rise of the Resistance. Wait that half an hour, then get in the queue. So if I see the queue at that front third, that's a queue that I would get into. I'm not necessarily going to do it myself, but I would say that's a go. You've done well enough. Well, it is there. So that's something. You're looking at it from there. You're looking at about 20-25 minutes, I would think, to the mix point. Oh dear. No. we got all that we could have bargained for, I think, or just about all of it. I get to see it before you do, but it's full. I was thinking that front third right there. If I saw it in the front third, I'd be like, yeah, that's you're getting a win there. You're beating 60 minutes. But with the queue here, you're getting all of it. You're getting section 1, section 2, and half of section 3. Although, I mean, it's moving, I guess. Actually, this is moving, but that's not. I don't know. I take that back. I do know. What am I talking about? Of course I know. It's a no. It's a no-go. It is 60 minutes. Could be worse. If Lightning Lane shows up, yeah, you guys are even deeper. One of the reasons, by the way, that I like to come up here and check on the queue for Space Mountain. I mean, for science also, but then also because I get to do this before I come down the stairs. I get to look out at the Tomorrowland panorama. And if I choose, that's a little bit all right. Yeah, this is definitely light right here. Not very intense at all.
Buzz Lightyear's next, not exactly looking, it's not encouraging me to get in the queue. I'm seeing some guests. Although it's posted at 25, but they've got it kind of wrapped here. I wonder why that is. Is it because they're not using all the queue? I mean, they're using quite a bit of it, and there's Lightning Lane in play there as well. Oh, Astro Orbiter's almost full too. They've got Astro at 25. They're using about 2/3 of the queue out there. Yeah, man, Buzz is actually popping a little bit. I mean, 25 minutes is still not bad, and this does look like about a 25-minute queue. But I was expecting it to be closer to the 15 that we saw at Autopia or Finding Nemo. But they're still doing work here. So maybe I'm not getting on one today. Maybe I'm not. I thought I might. But they're doing that, yeah, and it's going all the way back there to Pixie Hollow also. So that actually may not even be 25, that could be 30 or 35. You know, I kind of think that Tomorrowland is my favorite land. I mean, besides Main Street, of course. Nothing will ever top Main Street, but when I come through Tomorrowland, I'm just like, gosh, this place is great. I do love me some Tomorrowland. Little skipper humor for you there. Very similar scenario here at Star Tours, where the posted wait time is 25 minutes. And, you know, just like Buzz, 25, and it's pretty nominal here. It's going into the room there, which you don't generally like to see, but I think they're going in and coming right back out. It's just a bit overflowed. But you're gonna only be in there for a minute, but I'm still not getting in that queue either. If it were a ride that I actually liked, I might do it, but I'm not a fan of Star Tours, so it's not gonna pull me in. Did it again. I guess that just leaves Big Thunder. That leaves Big Thunder. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I'm just, you know, I was hoping I would get. Normally I'll try to get in at least one ride when I do these. I usually don't though. I'm usually just kind of marching through the park a little bit. Golly, this day is looking really, really beautiful.
I'm fine. That was a
Just push the control lever forward. Thank you. Please enjoy your space.
If you guys knew how many times I've been on Astro Orbiter lately. Like, at least once a week, probably twice a week now for the past 2 months. Looks like they've replaced the flowers here at the partner statue. They were like a bluish purple here last week, or actually on Friday, just a few days ago, but now they've got it set up for the holidays. Almost there, man. Every time, everywhere I go, like each day, each hour, it seems like I'm finding a little bit of new Christmas arriving in the parks. Amazing.
I don't make the rules, I just have to follow them.
You know, passing through the hub just now and into Frontierland, it's made me realize that one of the things I've missed about this season is the lack of a parade. We haven't had a parade here, a daytime parade here, since August, July? And with the coming of the holiday season, we're going to once again get 2 parades a day. Daytime parade and nighttime parade. Christmas Fantasy. Really, really looking forward to that as well. And it looks like Big Thunder, yep, it's closed. I saw a little queue forming, a little makeshift queue. Like folks might be getting ready to try to get in there. Is this our opportunity, perhaps? I feel like that cast member might be coming out to get ready to do things. I should go check to see if there's trains on the track, if they're testing. I just saw one come into the station just now. You can't see it because there's trees, but I can see the movement. So trains are on the tracks. We might be able to make this idea of getting in one more attraction, or getting in one attraction here before this end of the show, a reality. There's movement and trains happening back there. Let's see. I have chosen to try to see if I can't wait for the rope drop here, but don't do that unless you see trains on the track like that. Confirm that there are trains on the track, because then at least they're cycling, and that means they're getting close to reopening. At least I'm hoping that's the case. I've been in this queue now for about maybe 5 minutes. Here comes another one. Oh man, they're moving quickly through. There goes another one. That's got to be a good sign. 12 minutes later, they have just turned on the standby wait time. I can hear sound back on the track, the sound effects and everything. They turned those on. Sound is up, and I heard a cast member say "Yeehaw." I think we have. I think we're good. I think it's about ready to happen. Here we go. Worked perfectly. By the way, they're posting it at 60. So that's going to dissuade the guests from rope dropping the attraction, which is going to make it even more agreeable to standbyers who are passing by. It's a duck! Whoa! Oh my! It's a couple. Let's see if we can't keep this thing rolling. Wonderful. Wonderful. It's so happening. It's just perfect. All right. All right. Yes. There she is. Thank you, thank you. Row 3 in about 3 minutes. Pretty sure that's our train. Yeah, they still haven't filled the queue down there. They're still just walking straight on. And that's because of the 60-minute posted wait time. There you go, we're number 5. You Be Daring. I never get the camera up in time for the Wildest Ride segment. did it. We got a ride in today. I've been here for, what, almost 6 hours, my first ride. I love my job. They still haven't filled the queue. Not even close. They did bump it down from 60 to 25, so that should be drawing a crowd. I'm really curious why, or surprised to see that it hasn't gotten any fuller. It should have gotten fuller in this short time. Hi guys. In about what, 5 or 10 minutes? It's been about 10 minutes since it's reopened. Before we wrap this show up, I found some Mama Odie bottles in this tree here in Frontierland. Curious. I was not expecting to see that. I'm wondering if this is a permanent thing. I know they're doing a media event in a couple days. Is that just for the media, or is that, I mean, it's a little early in terms geography-wise. We're still in Frontierland. We're not even in New Orleans yet. Well, that bit of drama aside, I'm really curious to see if that's a permanent thing. I mean, it's kind of light. It's not much, and like I said, it's still just Frontierland and not in New Orleans. Anyway, that's our show, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Interesting turn of events here. The morning started, I should say the afternoon started out like it was going to be bonkers, but by the end of the day here, as it's now, what is it, 4:42 in the afternoon, it's super mild right now. It is what I would have expected. This is the crowd that I would have expected, get it Frank, would have expected for a $196 day on a Veterans Day. Not dead, but still a little busy because it's it's a holiday. A lot going on today too. Lots to talk about. Next time I see you guys, it'll be under the full warm embrace of the holiday season. Matter of fact, by the time I see you next for the State of DCA report, we will be in the full warm embrace of the holiday season. So I'm really looking forward to that. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please do consider joining our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/freshbaked. You can follow us on Instagram at _freshbaked, on Twitter at freshbakedisney, that's fresh with no E, and on TikTok at freshbakedisney. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. We love you. Be safe out there. Be kind to one another. Fresh Baked.